Steel UI rant just to have on a soundboard whenever something like this happens.
True.
We need to get on that.
But shout out to Pomi, as you mentioned, Wardy's hosting an event, and there's some other language casters covering that. But of course, we have our own Tuna Cup ready for us here. We have the semi-finals ready for us as well.
Indeed, we do. Still gonna be another best of 3, but fret not. Gonna be a very exciting one, as is what I expect over here. We're going to be kicking it off on Ultra Love, where over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right. We, of course, have our blue Terran player coming down all the way from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing his team, Shopify Rebellion. Oh, we have ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald.
I'm only now noticing his decal.
Yes. I believe that is Sal's team. Uppetry. His clan, I should say.
Ah, yeah. Sal 4.
Yes. Shaking my head. But for some reason, there's the doggo, and there's yeah, I don't understand.
I was gonna say donut, but I think that's a pie.
I know that there's like a spoon in it, right? There's like a spoon.
Yeah, so it's coffee.
That could be coffee.
That's like not a spoon. That's like one of those wooden stirry sticks.
Ah, okay.
Or it might be a spoon. It looks wooden.
It could be a wooden spoon.
Yeah. That actually, yeah, it might not be coffee. I can't tell how brown it is or if it's a little bit reddish.
That could be a dessert, right?
It could be tomato sauce.
Okay.
It could be a dessert. It could be chili con carne.
Ah, carnitas.
You put the hot dog in there.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Making me hungry. We'll have some noodles after this.
We will. Some instant.
Exactly.
We actually got a variety pack.
Oh, let's go. What kind of variety? What do you got?
It's a variety of Korean instant noodles that they, for some reason, they were doing a promotion on. So it's like standard Shin ramyun mixed with, I don't remember the brand, but it was like some clay pot stew flavor noodle.
Okay.
And then another brand that I don't remember that's like kimchi stew. Kimchi jjigae flavor. So
okay. Well, let's go.
You gotta decide which one.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards the clay pot.
Well, I'm all for it as long as you put an egg in it. Get an egg in there.
Ah, gotta get the protein.
See. As we are settled into our game, ByuN behind this going for a 1-1-1 opener. He was checking for proxies. ByuN, he skips the SCV scout, he skips the Reaper scout as well. This is known for ByuN, and Gerald, he will punish these Marines, picking them off one at a time. No bunker on the high ground, so ByuN cutting corners here.
Yeah, honestly, pretty surprising here from ByuN. Well, I say pretty surprising. It's not surprising that ByuN cut corners, but it feels like nowadays a bunker in TvP is pretty much essential. We've seen Nicorak, even when he was playing aggressive, even when he went for the 2-on-1, he still built a bunker at his natural base.
Yeah, and as a result, that's going to be 3 Marine kills early on. That will weaken this follow-up medevac drop, as now there are 2 less Marines in the drop, but it's going to be a Widmine Marine, and the goal here for this drop is to get economic damage, to focus on as many probes as possible. Meanwhile, the heli does overextend.
Yeah, will get cut out a little bit. ByuN going to be trying to boost his medevac, but I think, yeah, Gerald will be able to spot it. Will be able to maneuver some defenses.
He will, as it does pull away. Meanwhile, the drop does come in, will zone away some of the army. Maestro going off on a single worker, and with that, Gerald, he will hold. Before I get ahead of myself, again, we're a little bit distracted by the discussion on the decal. But if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. This is a prediction for the entirety of this best of 3. So best of luck on who you think will advance onto the grand finals. Will be the Protoss or the Terran.
Decaf. It could be coffee.
There you go. Could be coffee.
Could be coffee.
I see in the chat, it's clearly a capichihuahua. Clearly.
Ah,
Clearly.
Kappa?
It's when you put the chihuahua in the cappuccino.
Ah. Oh, that's right. The what's it called? The more espresso, less depresso.
Yes. Sal does say that. Yo,
I love the Haluk Colossus.
What are we doing? Are we like taunting ByuN right now? What's...
Get out, you coward! Yeah, I already have a Colossus out, you know?
I how ByuN calls the bluff with the Marine. The Marine does go down, but that was an interesting interaction, is what I will say.
He's like, yeah, you want a Haluka Colossus? You want to bait me? I'll give you one Marine.
I mean, he does get baited because Gerald, he moves out across enough. He's out of position. Probes are going to be under fire. Does go back in.
Am I going to be zoning away the probes for the time being, but not much else?
As he does delay some mining time, one worker goes down, and I appreciate that Gerald is going for a different dynamic. We've seen time and time again gateway compositions blink into Colossus from Skillless. Here we have blink charge into Storm, not Colossus.
Interesting. A little bit more of an old school choice here coming out from Gerald. I feel like it's fallen out of favor a little bit just because of the prevalency of ghosts.
As we do get the drop into the main base, the drop is going to be cleaned up. Gerald, he will defend, but that's going to be another 3 workers going down. What I will say is that Storm play was a little bit old school until the recent patch because of the NG overcharge. Because of the NG overcharge, now you actually have
true.
Yeah, a lot more storms than you otherwise did last year.
Yeah, you don't even need K-Darren Amulet.
True.
You don't even need an upgrade to have your High Templar warping in and being on full energy, so yeah, that makes sense. It also allows storms to be a lot more useful in a defensive scenario where, the Terran player might want to push out with Sim, but not Ghosts yet.
Oh my god, as a full medevac goes, sorry, I should say half a medevac goes down. The medevac does fall, unfortunately, to target the one with less units, but overall, nice catch here from Gerald. And yes, as you mentioned, now with the NG overcharge, High Templar are a little more versatile in their defense and offense, and we'll see how Gerald can compete with ByuN. As ByuN is being active, pushing towards the left-hand side, Gerald does spot him.
Yeah, ByuN unaware so far, though. We already have the Templar dropping a couple of storms.
Yeah, but no major connections. They mainly zone away. Mine shots going off here on those Zealots. Oh, but the Widow Mines are going to be cleaned up. Gerald, he's on the chase.
Yeah, not too many Zealots remaining, but still plenty of High Templar, and they've got plenty of energy as well. A little bit of debris, ending the chase for now, but I think Gerald smells blood in the water.
He's going to knock down those rocks. He's going to be pushing out. ByuN behind this is going to be rushing into Ghost again because of the prioritization, or because of Storm that's on the way. Ghost is going to be that much more effective here. It's going to be up to Gerald to keep his High Templar in the backline to make sure he spreads them out and avoids those EMPs.
Yeah, has to be very, very careful there. ByuN still being active with drops. You do have a cannon, and assuming a feedback was able to take out one of these medevacs, but still have a lot of Marines coming down, and they are focusing on economy.
That they are. Meanwhile, Gerald, he is committing in. He's taking a lot of damage back at home, but he does want to try to break ByuN here and now. There is a tank at the natural. ByuN, he has those ghosts, he has those EMPs, he does lead the charge, he does scan, he does spot those High Templar, he knows what he wants.
He's hunting. He is hunting. He's hoping he can nail those EMPs before the fight even begins. And just like that, Gerald immediately gets put on the back foot. He tries to warp some of these or morph some of these High Templar into Archons, but it is not going to be enough. Some absolutely huge pickups here for ByuN. Not going to be pressing the advantage just yet. He's not quite fully ready for that. But yeah, already a huge net positive for him before the big fight even begins.
Exactly. That was an insane EMP out of ByuN. He caught every single High Templar, and Gerald, he's in trouble now. Thankfully, he has 4 more High Templar back at home. He still has Storms ready to go, but is it going to be enough? ByuN does have momentum. He's going to be pushing in. How good are the Storms going to be?
I don't think we're going to find out just yet. We do have one Storm connecting on a lot of units. So is a snipe. being utilized on a High Templar, which you don't see too often, but I guess it worked out.
Yeah, well, he attempted to snipe EMP on the Prism, but the High Templar is still safe inside. They still avoid those EMPs, and ByuN is going to be forced all the way back. Gerald, he still has potential here with his army. At the same time, Raven Harass here does distract for a moment, actually going for the Storm Drop into the mineral line.
Yeah, ByuN not quite aware, but he does figure it out pretty soon. Some nice EMPs as well. EMPing them immediately as they pop out, and the Viking to take out the Warp Prism in the end. Once again, Gerald, he's got to go back home. He's got to rebuild. He's got to lick his wounds.
These have been some expensive losses to figure out. I'm afraid to look here, but so far, 3 High Templar, 2 Archons, a Prism has gone down, and Gerald, he is now forced out of just pure Storm. Double Robo. This is for Colossus production. Sorry, I should say triple Robo production for Colossus. We need time. Oof.
Yeah, he needs quite a lot of them. Quite a lot of time, and he needs to get them out as quickly as possible. Good use of the choke point here from ByuN. Yeah, no AoE damage, no storms or anything like that, so that's when you want your bio to be standing on a bridge versus nothing but zealots, pretty much.
Yeah, ByuN momentum still on his side. He does take another better fight. Gerald actually not going straight for Colossus, going for Disruptors first. Bold move here, but they do produce faster than Colossus. So as you mentioned, time is of the essence. He has to make whatever he can as quickly as possible here. But again, Gerald, he's still not quite there. And ByuN, he still has that larger army, can still be more active, can still be more aggressive.
Yeah, I feel like he needs a couple more Widow Mines, but other than that, his army is looking very, very solid. He's got a lot of Ghosts. He's got a lot of Bio. He's even got a Viking or two. Yeah, a couple of Vikings for that Warp Prism.
Yeah, does have those Vikings. Widow Mines are cleaned up, but the tanks, they do catch out Gerald. ByuN taking a different approach here. He turtles up. We have sensor towers. We have tank lines. He knocks down the tower to fully wall this area off. ByuN, it looks like he's calming things down here while he takes up in towards Liberators with that fusion core.
Yeah, ByuN, like you said, playing things safe, which is not usually what I expect from ByuN.
Ooh, and he might get punished for it. Medevac does go down. We can see Gerald, he's posturing in the center. Both armies are maxed out. I will say that Gerald's army is a little bit less it's a little bit less complex. It's mainly Zealot. We have 24 Zealots. He's only got a handful of Disruptors and only 2 High Templar.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more low tech compared to what ByuN is working with right now.
And with that, the final
see a massive flag. Ooh, good avoidance on the Novas, but some very, very nice storms could be zoning away most of the Bio army. This is a very difficult position for ByuN to try to push into because of these choke points, but I think he's realized, yeah, there's not a lot of energy on these High Templar. The Purification Novas are still on cooldown, so he's going to cross the bridge.
He does cross that bridge. As you mentioned, Gerald, he needs more Disruptors. All these Novas are now resetting, so he does have Novas available once again, and that potential to pop off, but he cannot break through this choke point. Once again, the Nova graces the army, takes down 2 of those Marauders. Meanwhile, we have a Liberator range on the way.
Yeah, ByuN, once again, he just really wants to make sure he can secure himself at this position, and Lib range is going to be helping out a ton. We only have 4 Stalkers now. For anti-air, obviously, we have a couple of Archons, but they have a very limited range. AP is going to be blanketing the front of this army, but there is still that High Templar in the back line with full energy.
Yeah, it does have full energy, but at the same time, a base goes down. ByuN going for a split push, and there's nothing at home to defend. Expansion does fall. Gerald, he's forced all the way back home.
And ByuN, he's content with the damage he's dealt. He is just going to be going back home with his triple medevacs. He's getting caught, or is he?
Gerald, he is aware he will get 1 medevac, 2 medevacs go down. There's only 1 medevac left. He cannot load up.
That he cannot. We also have these ghosts looking very, very vulnerable. ByuN kiting back as best he can, but he will lose both of his ghosts.
Yeah, the ghost count, not bad. Sniping those ghosts, chasing down 3 medevacs. It will take some ice shots to the face, but only bleeding out Zealots. And with that, Gerald, he's now building up a decent army. Now we had 3 Disruptors, now 7 Disruptors, 7 Novas.
So much so that, yeah, Gerald can kind of afford to throw them out!
Oh my God.
Novas do connect. ByuN focusing at the wrong position right there. And just like that, the tides are starting to turn in Gerald's favor.
Yeah, again, he's got a lot of balls. He's got 7. Oh no, another Nova goes off. Another massive connection here. The splits are not there for ByuN.
Yeah, just way too slow there. Too stim. He's getting punished for it massively. Now he's starting to pre-split.
Yeah, he's trying to avoid, trying to target down. He does get one disruptor there. Nice target firing out of ByuN. He gets another disruptor as well. Once again, good target firing, but he's trying to build up his Viking count, sorry, his Liberator count once again. Storm does zone away, and Gerald has had a couple of good fights.
Yeah, he's definitely managed to bloody ByuN quite a bit, and obviously ByuN, he's also working with a weaker economy than Gerald has right now, so Gerald can afford a loss here and there, but if he loses one too many High Templar, one too many disruptors, that's going to be difficult. Not quick enough on the repair. These DTs are having an absolute field day.
We've seen this before. DTs, they probably hit down a full planetary. Another Nova almost connects with those ghosts as well. ByuN, he has to be careful. He has to tread lightly here as he's losing bases, losing mineral lines. 13 probes do go down, and here come more Novas.
Good pre-split coming out from ByuN though. And once again, you know, Gerald, he might not be trading as efficiently as he would like to, but he has the economic advantage. He is looking to win the longer game.
Yeah, exactly. I would argue that he has too many probes. He's oversaturated. He has 95 workers. That's hurting him.
He can afford to lose 50 of them.
You're not wrong. Not wrong. He's on massive blink. DTs are going to be popping up here on top of the ghost. More Liberators going to be going down, and Gerald is catching ByuN out of position.
Yeah, ByuN, he's got the army advantage, but they, like you said, just not in a position to actually deal with this army. He will finally be able to flank them. But ByuN, he's losing so much to win this battle.
Yeah, exactly. ByuN, he will clean this up, but another CC goes down. Thankfully, he has a third orbital here to land on location. ByuN, he's barely holding on, barely maintaining himself. Meanwhile, we do see that Gerald, he does have a bank, but he has to spend his money. He has to spend his money. He has to warp in, checking the production here. 15 gateways, 3 robos. His production is looking solid, but we need those warp ins.
That we do, and sooner rather than later. There we go, 13 DTs on the way.
Here we go. We have 13 DTs moving out towards the right-hand side. At the same time, Gerald, he does go for that base once again. He wants a CC again. He's going to get it.
And he will get it, yeah. Just too weak. ByuN forced to pull back his army. He wanted to go. He wanted to go for the counterattack. But now he's forced to counter-defend. Repair, Papi!
He does.
Somehow that CC survives.
He repairs the base,
but
at the same time,
close.
DTs, they run into Liberators as well. They don't really find too much damage here. This wasn't quite worth it, but there we go. 2 tanks going to be going down. ByuN, he breaks out. Supplies are still neck and neck. Gerald has a bank, but again, he has to spend his money.
I was gonna dispute you on the supplies being neck and neck because it looks like ByuN has the advantage. But keep in mind, ByuN currently has 8 medevacs out on the map.
Yeah, 8 medevacs here.
A bit of friendly fire there.
A bit of friendly fire. Also collapse on those ghosts. These are expensive losses for ByuN. DTs, they blink in. Oh my god.
Oh, avoiding the EMPs with that blink.
He avoids, but alas, massive pickups here. The medevacs go down, the ghosts go down, disruptors are going to get picked up. We do see Gerald, he does overextend for a moment here, but ByuN, he is at death's door. He has lost far too much. He is down to how many? Down to 1 ghost. That's the final ghost. Oh, no.
Can't afford to rebuild anything. The final ghost does go down, and with that, it's all these medevacs and marauders that ByuN has to work with. Look at that bank difference.
Exactly, the bank is there for Gerald. He can still rebuild. He can still keep this going. Again, the 99 probes, by the way. God damn it, Gerald. God damn it. But hey, it's working. He's pulling it off.
Yeah. He doesn't need that big of an army, you know?
Yeah, it's fine. Copium. As the boys are being pulled, one final stand here for ByuN, trying to hold on, but again, he's lost far too much over the course of this game. Does not have the economy to sustain himself, not anymore. He's down to 0 ghosts. He will hold on for now, but 11 SCVs do fall.
Yeah, ByuN trading as efficiently as he can, but the fact of the matter is every loss here for ByuN is going to hurt way more than it hurts Gerald.
It really is, as another Nova does look to graze the army, going for the CC for a 4-time Novas. They are not connecting. Nice target firing out of ByuN.
Yeah, very nice trade here, but alas, the CC goes down, and that was really the main objective that Gerald had.
Oh my god.
That Nova will connect.
Yeah, the Nova connects when it matters most here as Gerald, he pushes on forward. Liberation has arrived, and Liberators, they will defend. They will protect the natural at least, but the natural does not matter. Gerald, he takes down the 5th base. Now he's going for the 3rd.
Yeah, this is a base that actually has some mining on it, so much more valuable base as far as ByuN and Gerald are concerned.
Yeah, exactly. 16 SCVs go down. Another Nova does connect. Liberators, they will protect this base. They will clean up all these zealots. But again, these are still better trades from Gerald to ByuN down to 1 final mining base.
Pretty much. Very important to have the Liberators here.
And ByuN has everything else. Sorry, Gerald has everything else. Gerald, he is mass expanding, taking top left, taking bottom right, still maintaining a superior economy. And Gerald, he's already remaxed.
Just like so. Doesn't matter that he's on 99 probes. He is still matching the army supply of ByuN.
He really is. Nice targeting once again on that 1 disruptor. Gerald, he's working towards Colossus as a transition, but he needs a little bit more time. Meanwhile, we have Mass Archon waddling in.
Yeah, Master Archon waddling in, taking out CCs. How cool would it be if High Templar could feedback buildings?
That'd be crazy. Oh my god. As thankfully they cannot, as we do have storms here on the Bio Army. Liberators to get called out. Oh my god, and a massive stormer once again.
Connecting with every single bit of bio. This is the end.
Yeah, as Gerald, he breaks the natural. GG gets called, and Gerald, he will take game number 1, taking a lead in the series.
GG. Nicely done. Very, very close game. A lot of back and forth that we had. But in the end, like we were saying, we get the game going on long enough. We get to a point where there are more than 4 bases being taken. And that's typically where ByuN kind of starts to fall down. Whereas on the flip side, that's usually where Gerald shines more so than a lot of other Protoss players.
For sure, for sure. We mentioned before, we have seen Gerald take it to the late game against players like ByuN, against players like Cure. This is where Gerald is at his best, in that longer game stage with all those bases, with that greater economy, and that is where Gerald did thrive. Meanwhile, we are loading into a bit of a different map. We're going to be loading into Pylon. This map is less defendable than Ultra Love. It is less defendable. It is more open, more spread out bases. It is more difficult to maintain an economy here, so this is where ByuN can bring it back.
Yeah, loading onto a little bit of a different bat file. It's that's usually for editing game dependencies, right?
Sure.
I don't remember. I just remember I had to like install a BAT file for Fallout 4 because to fix the FOV.
Oh no.
I'm not a big software guy, if you can tell.
It's fine.
But regardless, yes, we are going to be loading into game number 2 of our best of 3 semifinals. This time it's going to be on Pylon. LE. LE, of course, standing for Libra Exposition. Libra Exposition. Okay. That's when you go to do your Zodiac and then the person just like expositions. A bunch of lore dumps on you about Libra, the constellation.
There you go.
Libra is the goat, right?
Sure. I don't know any of these are.
I just know my own. That's it.
And the Scorpio is a scorpion.
Scorpio's a scorpion. Leo's the lion.
Pisces is the fish.
Pisces is the fish.
Yeah,
Gemini is the 2 guys.
He's the guy that really likes trap. yeah. I know Gemini.
I know Gemini.
Really likes trap.
Yeah.
God.
That's why it's a symbol. It's him and Trap.
Yeah.
Together.
Beautiful. Intertwined.
They got wings. And that's how you remember them, because it's a wing commander.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Here we are. Top left corner map, swatting all the way to top left. We, of course, have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Shopify Rebellion. Old mate Toby. We have ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player from Lena, Poland, representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Gerald.
Representing that Chihuahua.
Yeah, the Capichuahua.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Here we go, and again, ByuN, I mean, it was a very back and forth game one, right? ByuN, he had a lot of strong moments. I'm still reminded of the EMPs that we saw out of ByuN, where for the first half of the game, I want to say that he was shutting down the Storms. I want to say that for the most part, the Storms were barely connecting. It was the Novas later on, or I should even say that it was the size of the map as well, where Gerald, even though ByuN was maybe taking some better fights, he wasn't really able to hinder the economy of Gerald when it came to knocking down bases, denying mineral lines. Gerald, his economy did get out of control.
Yeah, I feel like ByuN's, the point of that game where ByuN really started to slip into a disadvantage was when he decided to play things safe after he shut down the initial push from Gerald with all those storms. I don't really necessarily blame him. You know, he didn't really have many anchor units, no mines, no liberators or anything like that at that point. But because he decided to play things safe, that gave Gerald a little bit of breathing room. It allowed him to, like you said, expand, get out of control of his economy, eventually have 15 gateways, warp in 13 DTs at a time, and just keep taking out bases.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the moment you're talking about here where ByuN, he was winning these engagements in the center of the map, and then suddenly he did decide to throw down center towers, start working towards the fusion core, towards liberators, and played a more defensive game from there, something more macro oriented, I should say. And that is when Gerald was able to snowball out of control. And we'll see how our players do adjust coming into game number 2. We did mention earlier that Pylon is a very different map. It is less defendable. There are less choke points. There are less bridges here. There are bridges in the center, but again, they're a lot more open, a lot more wide, less of a choke point, and aggression is more favored on Pylon.
Yeah, you can pretty much draw a straight line from one base to the other.
Oh yeah.
And that's your rush path.
For sure. 100%. As we do get the drop into the main base, Widowmine is going to zone away the Stalkers Marines. They go for the middle line, but there's a shield battery position.
So ByuN in the end decides not to. Nope, never mind. It does drop regardless.
Yeah, and Gerald, he doesn't lose anything. He loses a little bit of mining time, but he cleans up the Widowmine, cleans up the Marines, forces back the drop, the Hellions get zoned away, and Gerald, he defends.
Just like so. Not the most committed opening here for ByuN, so it's not like he's super behind, but obviously Gerald could be going into mid-game with an advantage, and he intends to utilize that advantage.
Ooh.
For once more, we see a very early Templar Archives.
Yeah, so third base into not Colossus, once again third base into Charge, into the Forge, into the Templar Archives, into Storm. Again, this is Gerald's go-to in the current meta, is to embrace Storm, and we'll see if he's able to get some better connections this time. As I mentioned before, like ByuN, for the most part, he was keeping up with the kind of the Storm portion of game 1.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have to agree with that. I was going to say there was a little bit of time before ByuN was actually able to get ghosts out on the map, but I think once ByuN saw an energy bar from his opponent, that's when he was like, okay, I need to be careful until I can actually get ghosts out.
100%.
So, yeah.
As ByuN is doing ByuN things, he does get spotted. What I mean by that is no stim. This is a stimless push here out of ByuN. Just vanilla Marines and 2 tanks, and his goal here is to sneak up on the third base so he gets spotted by the hallucination. Oh my god.
Are you sure this isn't SC Evo?
Oh my god. True. True.
That's also his go-to there. Yeah.
Oh my god, as the one Liberator, 7 probe kills in the main base. The tanks are being targeted down, but that's still a lot of economic damage.
Yeah, tank count getting reset is obviously great here for Gerald, but like you mentioned, ByuN is able to once again close the gap and not quite overtake economically.
Oh,
now he's overtaken.
There we go. 14 workers go down. Very nice target firing out of ByuN.
7 times each. Siege up twice. Got 7 kills both times. That's truly a lucky number.
That one Liberator killed 14 workers on its own. That's crazy. That's insane. So very nice damage there by ByuN. Likewise, he breaks out. Gerald, economically, he is hurting. He does run into the army, but alas, his stalkers are low from earlier, and ByuN now this time is that he has stim in a couple of seconds.
Oh, right. And then you said he has stim and a couple of seconds. So I was like, ah, yes, he has a time advantage. But it's like, I misheard that.
All good, all good.
Stim finishing up just about now, a couple seconds later.
Yeah, exactly, he breaks through the Zealots. Storm is not ready, by the way. Storm is only halfway done, and ByuN is pushing through, more just reinforcing across the map. Breaks through the Zealots, getting on top of the Stalkers, at least trying to, but Gerald, he's buying time. Pulls back.
Yeah, he's buying a lot of time. Just about enough, perhaps, for Storm to finish up. ByuN, despite not facing any AoE, despite not facing splash damage, still did take a lot of losses. Really good zoning from Gerald, utilizing those force fields.
Yeah, it does utilize those force fields here. Meanwhile, Storm is now complete. Storms are ready, and this time there are no ghosts, there's no EMPs, and Gerald, he might be able to hold on. He's down in supply, but with Storms, he can make up for that.
Very much so. I'm liking this move from Gerald. So ByuN, obviously not in a position to really push in right now. He is going for drops and whatnot. So Gerald, he notices where ByuN's army is at, gets a fourth base on... That's not technically a ninja base. I think that's where it technically can be counted as a fourth, since there's nothing in between them. But yeah, it's a bit of an unusual fourth base.
It's really isolated, right? Like it's really far away, really isolated. And here we go, ByuN is just tearing Gerald apart. He denies +1, takes out the forge at the same time, sims in towards the third base. Storm is barely not ready here, but more High Templar coming in. Gerald, he can hold on, but again, he's taking a lot of losses. Ooh.
Yeah, not quite enough energy from this High Templar, but the other Templar will be getting into position. One Storm left in the chamber, but the Templar Archives does go down. No more High Templar going to be able to be warped in here for Gerald.
Yeah, massive pick of ByuN is just pulling Gerald apart here, getting into the main base, denying the Templar Archives, pushing in once again, gets 8 probe kills. The one plus side is that Gerald, he has kept this base hidden. ByuN is unaware of the 4th expansion, but it may not matter because ByuN, he's not stopping, he's not slowing down, and ghosts have arrived.
Yeah, Gerald, he might be able to recall a couple of probes to that Nexus, but like you said, it's at this point we're looking at 80 army supply versus 30. We do have some juicy storms despite the ghosts already out. ByuN, his attention elsewhere for a second.
Yeah, ByuN
pays the price for it. He can't keep up the momentum anymore.
He has to back off. He takes 2 massive storms to the face, and Gerald, he's barely hanging on. I mean, ByuN, he still has a terrifying army. He still has those ghosts, still has those EMPs, but Gerald doing everything he can to survive and to just buy time to build up his 4th base. He's still not out of the woods yet. Still looking very dicey here for Gerald.
Yeah, trying desperately now to rebuild that Templar Archives. I see the flanking High Templar. But it does get caught out. Huge risky maneuver there from Gerald, but unfortunately didn't quite pay out for him.
Yeah, it did not quite pay off. There's 1 High Templar left, and it's going to be focused out as well. The 0 High Templar remaining. We have more on the way, but ByuN, for the most part, he has done it. He gets well against those Zealots. We have another High Templar coming in. EMP connects!
Yeah, will land, so no more storms going to be remaining. I will say that for the most part, Gerald's army has been able to avoid a bunch of EMPs, but I guess it doesn't really matter when you have this many stimmed Marines facing down your door.
Yeah, man with gun.
Knocking down your door.
Man with gun. He stims and he wins. He takes out the Soldiers, takes out the Archon, breaks through the High Templar as well. 0 storms remaining. And it looks like ByuN, he has done it. We may see Gerald just buy a little bit more time and hang on for a little bit more, but nah, no short. There's no hanging on from this.
Yeah, we're parade pushing at this point. Behind all of this as well, ByuN is getting a 4th base.
Yeah. Getting a 4th CC, getting into 2-2 upgrades. He does get into the middle and massive mine shots here on the probes. And then Gerald, he's just trying his best to hold on, but GG gets called, and ByuN, he ties up the series 1-1.
GG. That's more of the ByuN that I'm familiar with. You know, no playing it safe, no being careful. Once we got stim, once we got a 2nd base, non-stop push.
Yeah, There we go. GG, well played with that. ByuN, he breaks on through. He is able to overwhelm Gerald. Again, Gerald just having a harder time at maintaining his bases, keeping up. Again, it was just brutal damage from the Liberator at the start of the game as well, just crippling the economy, and ByuN just kept up that momentum. This time he did not slow down.
Yeah. With old age, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's why they say, you know, when you, what's the thing? Inertia.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing. That's why when you keep going, you have to just, that's why when you go, you have to keep going. If you suddenly stop, if you suddenly stop, then it's whiplash. So you just got to keep going until you're able to slow down.
And you just don't stop?
Gradually. That's science. Anyway, we're going to be loading into our 8th match here of our upper top semi-finals. The winner of this one final map will be making it on through to the finals. It's all coming down to ley lines. We're over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right. We, of course, have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Shopify Rebellion. We have ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Here we go, and ByuN, so, this time he does shake things up. He does open up with what looks to be an attempted eBay block.
I love to see it, but we already have the probe here in position. No, just a little bit too far away, but yeah, I don't think the eBay is going to be too much of a bother at this point.
Yeah. Again, as you mentioned, really early scout out of Gerald, and with that he pulls 5 probes. He will deny this, and he will not be forced to take the unnatural natural.
Yeah. You're forced to cancel very, very early, which is ideal.
Yeah, we are settling in again. We made it to the ace match, Jack. We made it.
Yeah, and I can see the Polish fans coming out in full force. Yeah, I don't blame you guys.
Yes. Siema.
Ciasta. Ciasteczka.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Dzień dobry.
Yes. Dzień dobry. As we are going to be settling in again, Gerald, he's able to deny the initial eBay block and get into his own opener. Something that we can say with certainty is most likely Gerald is going to play into Storm once again, into High Templar. But we'll see how aggressive ByuN is going to be this time. Last game he did mix in a Liberator, but this time I'm sure Gerald is going to be a little more prepared for said Liberator harass.
Let's hope so. Yeah. It's not too common nowadays, I think, to see Liberator harass in TvP or in PvT. So, yeah, that definitely caught Gerald off guard in game number 2 in that previous games. But now that he's aware, now that some of the kinks have been worked out of the system, perhaps I think he should be a little bit more wary. He's gonna have one eye open.
There you go.
At that corner of his base.
Beautiful. I see someone's asking for a Polish intro. That's not gonna happen. That's
really?
Nah. I'm putting my foot. That's not gonna happen. No, you nothing.
I mean,
what are you trying to say? You're like, I know a word here or there. I did
feasible.
I did Duolingo 3 years ago of Polish. I know some words.
It's actually 6 years ago.
God damn it. Este jako. Ay.
And pomodoro. Apple.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Ciasteczka. There's that one phrase I hear a lot on the internet by Polish people, but I think I'm not allowed to say it
you shouldn't say
on stream.
No. Oh, no. as here we go. We do have our initial 1-1-1 setup here. This time going for a double Widowmine drop. He's not committing with the Marines. We have Marines on the ground, Widowmines in the air, and the mine drop is spotted by the hallucination.
Yeah, so once again, Gerald just kind of getting into position with these Stalkers. Going for a little bit of an earlier blink this time compared to the previous games. If my memory serves correct, but eventually we'll get to see that Templar Archives again.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. There's no shot we play Colossus as an opener, as this Widowmine is taking actually quite some time. One Stalker goes down. Not a bad pick off there for the Widowmine, as Gerald goes back to mining. Behind this, getting his third base up and running. When it comes to the opener, we had a 2-gate blink opener into a third. A very economic build here by Gerald, very greedy, and ByuN across the map is building up into early tank production.
That is even more of a rarity nowadays, I feel, in TvP, but I guess ByuN kind of confirmed the Stalker count, and he's banking on not having to deal with as many charge lots early on.
I mean, he might do the same opener he went for last game, if you remember the follow-up, I should say, where he went for the stimulus push, right? He went for the stimulus tank push. We might see that again as the second tank is arriving. Hallucination does get eyes on that tank, and Gerald, he goes into the main. Stim! Oh, he wants it!
And he's gonna get it, but this was meant to be a stimulus timing anyway, right?
True.
So go ByuN.
Yeah, ByuN, he likes it. The tank gets spotted. ByuN, he rallies across the map. As you mentioned, stimulus push out of ByuN. We went for the same move out here in game number 2, and we'll see if we can pull this off. We can see Gerald coming in from behind. He wants that tank.
Yeah, Stalker's coming in. Of course, the Marines are pretty close by. A little bit isolated right now. The tank now in a lot of trouble getting it from the back and getting it from the front. Tank will go down.
Yeah, the tank does fall, but here we go. A second tank does arrive to reinforce, and ByuN, he might still have enough here. The Marines, they do a great job buffering. The second tank is getting within range.
Yeah, auto turrets definitely adding in, soaking up a little bit of damage. We have 10 probes going down, and the medevac from earlier, it survived, so now it's coming in and providing a little bit of extra support.
Yeah, it is providing support. The base is under fire. It's going to be falling as well. We have Zealots trickling in. We try to collapse on the army, but it looks like ByuN has too much. Stim might not be done, but he does not need Stim. Who needs Stim when you have tanks, when you have man with gun?
Yeah. Real man with gun don't use drugs, question mark guy.
True. I mean, he breaks the third.
Real man with gun don't need stim.
Yes, he breaks the third base, breaks the expansion. Gerald now down to 2 bases. Bearing in mind, this is a 2-gate blink opener into a third base, though the entire purpose of this build was to rush into a faster third, and he loses it.
Yeah. Gerald, he was sacrificing a lot of his tech and a lot of his army to get a stronger economy early on, and that one advantage that he was banking on is now null and void. Look at that army supply difference.
Yeah, that is brutal here, and you can see ByuN is rotating. He's checking. He's looking for a third base. That's his only goal, is to deny the third. Behind this, getting his own third base up and running, getting to stim, combat shields +1. The upgrades are banking up here for ByuN, and there's nothing rushing him to push into the natural.
Yeah, he's just going to be waiting for Stim to finish up. Combat Shield as well. +1 has already finished. He's even getting Ghost Academy proactively. I think he doesn't need it yet, but he's well aware that he's going to need it soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is well aware, so he's just getting ready for the eventual Storm. Storm, as you mentioned, is on the horizon for Gerald. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that he was going to be going to Storm. Neither in ByuN's mind either. That's why he's already getting ready for it.
And once again, going to be going into the third base. The forward position that Gerald tried to go for over there in the north does get scouted.
Yeah, it does get scouted. Gerald, he misses the main army as well. The Storm's out of position. The third base is going to be denied for another time, or for a second time, and now Gerald is going for the base trade. He's going for one big counterattack here, but just doesn't really have much to work with. He has a lot of Storms, but not much else.
Yeah, and the reinforcements here for ByuN are already proving to be a little bit of a difficult barrier here for Gerald. ByuN, he wants to flank this. He wants to completely surround and sandwich his army. Once again, those High Templar.
Oh. And once again, the High Templar, they come in, they pop up some of those Storms, but the splits here from Gerald, from ByuN, he barely takes any damage.
barely takes any damage. The auto turret's even zoning away some of those High Templar. And once again, look at that RB supply difference. 74 for ByuN, 10 for Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald, he's barely warping in, trying to warp in whatever he can. The High Templar, they pop over their storms, but again, they barely connect with the army. Now the High Templar goes down, and now ByuN, he's moving in for the kill.
He's moving in for the kill, and Ghost production has just about begun. No, Ghost production began a while ago. He's got Ghosts now.
Oh, no. He does have the Ghost first. EMP does not quite connect, but the second one does graze the army. There's still 2 High Templar. There's still 2 more storms.
And those were those 2 storms. Yeah. Oh no, that was only 1 storm. We still have 1 remaining, but only 1, and that was it.
Yeah, the only storm. GG, ByuN, he will overwhelm. He will take the series 2-1, and ByuN will advance on to the grand finals.
Oh boy.
GG. Yeah, GG, well played. ByuN, he will claim the series. A very intense back and forth there. We had moments for Gerald. We had moments for ByuN as well, but in the end, ByuN did overwhelm, did take it, and with that, GG, well played. ByuN is our first finalist of the tournament.
Indeed, he is. And now he's going to be waiting for who his opponent in that best of 5 is going to be. We have another TvP ahead of us here in the semifinals, as Percival has defeated Christiana 2-1 and will now be facing Skillus for our other semi.